As we begin with this chapter, it brings us to where we left off from the previous chapter, when the angel gets smashed in the face from our hero and sent catapulting through the air. As our hero just looks down on the angel, with her face just a few inches from eating dirt, while struggling to move and completely confused after she got slugged in the face. In shock, feeling liquids run down from her face, as she wipes her nose and looks down at her hands, only to notice that there is her own golden blood all over her hand. With her mind still in a daze, she could only think, "What? What is this? Is this my blood? Did that bastard punch me just now?" After connecting the dots together, feeling the rage and anger build up from within her, she clenches her teeth together and turns around screaming and getting ready to rip his head off, saying, "You human trash! You dare!" Huh! He disappeared? Where the fucking hell did he go? While she was still dazed and confused of her surroundings, our hero appears directly behind her and reaches out and latches onto her wing with a death grip. Startled, she instantly turns around to look behind her, only for our hero to grab her from the back of her neck and start yanking on her wing, making the angel scream out in pain and horror. Wait. What are you trying to do? Sto, stop it. Our hero just listens to her scream and carry on with an expression that he doesn't hate nor enjoy doing what he's doing. But he certainly doesn't stop either. Instead, he pulls even harder, until finally he pulls with more force that was followed by a snap. And her wing gets ripped right off her, that was followed along with her golden blood spraying out like a fountain. As she's screaming out in pain, with her feathers flying around everywhere, our hero just looks down at her with zero emotion and tells her in a cold tone, "Shut up and quit being a little bitch." As the angel was laying down on the ground, sniffling and holding her shoulder with the missing wing, our hero steps on her back to get more leverage and grabs her other wing. And with better positioning than before, our hero rips the last wing off with ease and says to her, "Now that you can't fly away. So, tell me, how does it feel? It hurts, right?" The angel tries turning around, with a trembling body and with heavy labored breathing with sweat and tears flowing down her face. She barely mutters out, "Obviously it does." Our hero just laughs at her response and says, "If it would have been just another 5 more minutes, it would have been me down there, while you asking me the exact same question, making your disgusting, kiki laughing sounds." Hearing this, the angel gets all defensive and starts yelling, "What are you talking about? Have you gone mad? What are you even talking about?" He bends over and looks at her with a deadpan face and lifts her wing before her and says, "Does this dagger look familiar? You were going to use it and try killing me with it, were you not?" After listening and seeing the dagger, she just went silent without knowing what to say. Our hero just tosses her wing over his shoulder like some trash and says, "I knew it." Stuttering, the angel says, What do you mean? Kill? I never had such a plan to." Our hero just cuts her off with a smile that was filled with amusement and says, "There is no point in lying. Just one look at your face right now and it tells me everything I need to know, isn't that right? Burial?" With a look of utter shock and confusion, she asks, How does a mere mortal, a human, know my name?" As our hero just listens to her ramble on, he calls out his inventory and takes out his dagger and says, "Oh, about that, there really isn't any point in you knowing about the how or why." Seeing the dagger in his hand, she gets nervous and screams out in fright, "What are you doing? What are you going to do with that?" Our hero just looks down at his dagger and with a serious expression and says, "Oh, are you an idiot by any chance? Couldn't you figure that out all on your own? Have you gone insane?" As she points her finger at him and shouts, "If you get any closer, you will die. I will make your head explode. It will be quite easy, with a single snap of my fingers, and you will." Our hero cuts her off, "Just stop it," and with a sly smile plastered onto his face he says, "You don't have that ability anymore, do you?" With her eyes wide open and with clenched teeth, thinking to herself, How the fuck? Do you think you can get away with this? If my comrades ever find out about this, they just won't sit by and let you get away. They will hunt you down. Our hero just looks at her like she is an idiot and says, "Comrades? What comrades? You angels are all the same. Sadistic bastards with massive egos. They won't give a shit whether you die or not. They probably would only be pissed that they didn't get to watch you die. Anyways, enough of that. Let's send you off now, shall we?" As he starts walking closer to Burial, she starts waving her arms frantically, saying, "Sto, stop. You want benefit at all from killing me?" Our hero stops and says, "Oh? But I will. Unfortunately you won't be around to see how though." Burial starts stuttering. But you will regret killing me because you will be trapped here. You won't be able to return home without me." Our hero just laughs with contempt and says, "Pfft. Really? We are in the system, where I will automatically return once the settlement is over." Burial, completely dumbstruck, just blurts out, "How? How do you even know that? Just give me one more chance." "Oh, right. Do you want information? I can tell you anything you want, just please." Our hero just replies back with all seriousness and says, "I simply don't need it. If I needed any information from you, I would have just simply tortured you and found out everything I wanted to know, such as your kind's type of ecosystem, your purpose in all of this, and the fact that you are nothing but a chess piece in the system, playing the role of a guide for the players." Just then, as if her mind just shattered into a million pieces, she could only mutter, "What? How? When?" Before she could even say anything more, our hero disappears and reappears instantly right before her, and plunged his dagger directly right through her heart, making her cough out a mouth full of blood. And with a thud, she flops over onto the ground, dead. And with a ding, our hero receives multiple system prompts, one after the other, like he just won the lottery. An angel has been slain. It have been confirmed that you are the first player to kill an angel, followed by, you are awarded with the title the first angel slayer. You have also been awarded with angel's blood for the first kill of slaying an angel. You have also been awarded with the rune of slaughter, for killing an angel. Looking down at the items in his hands, he couldn't help but think, as expected, this time I get the first to get the first blood reward. Grabbing the rune in his hands and says, "Use," with a ding, he gets another prompt saying, "The acquired rune has been automatically engraved onto the player's body." The current rewards are given to the player who kills an angel first and would receive the title, the first angel slayer, and to acquire the title, you have to be the first person to kill an angel. You will also get all your stats doubled when facing any sacred beings. When our hero first learnt about the types of rewards, was during his 13th attempt, maybe because it's a reward only one person can acquire, but it is comparable to a unique item, such as this butcher rune. Every time a target gets killed, all stats rise by 1%, with a stack maxed at 100% until the round is completed. Looking at his rewards from killing Burial, our hero couldn't help but smirk. If the angels ever found out that I have acquired a rune so early, they would definitely stain their white feathered asses. And the main reason for killing Burial, besides her being a bitch, was for this. Angel's blood. After reaching level 10, I will be able to change my class to the Reaper class, which is a unique, hidden class, that will only be awarded for the first kill of an angel. All players can get their classes once they reach level 10, and there is a total of 30 different classes available, and changing a class is quite simple as well. You just have to get a class change item. You can get them from hunting monsters or certain quests, but there are a few exceptions. And that is when changing to a unique classes, which only one person can obtain at a time, and only under special circumstances. And of course, unique classes are in a total league of their own, from their bonus stats, advanced runes, skill compositions, and so on. That being said, he scrolls through his inventory. It's time to use my other award for placing first in the entire region. You may select one from the following 3 options for your reward. 1. 3 times experience buff for 2 rounds. 2. 2,000 gold. 3. Information regarding the second round. Not even thinking twice about what he wanted out of the 3 selections, because the most important goal right now is to reach level 10 as fast as possible, in order to get my class change. By selecting the first option, our hero received a system prompt saying, "You have selected option 1, which will give you a 3 times experience buff. The buff will automatically be applied, starting from the beginning of round 2. As he looks down at the dead body of Burial, that is dispersing into particles of light, and with all seriousness, he couldn't help but think to himself, this is it. The last and final attempt. I have to get stronger by any and all means necessary. Ding! Round 1 has ended. The total survivors from all regions is 900,514,645, and your current region's total survivors is 5,143. The next round will begin on February 1st, 2023. Congratulations for everyone surviving the round. We will see you next time." As the scene changes, it brings us to Ryu Min, getting his soul transferred back to his body, sweating and gasping for air. Ugh! Looking around his surroundings and feeling lost. This is the temple square? Shocked, he couldn't help but wonder what the hell happened. Looking around, seeing everyone holding their heads tightly and murmuring to themselves out loud, he couldn't help but think to himself, Did everyone collapse and faint like me? Not to mention the weird dream I just had. Looking down at his phone, and he couldn't help but gasp in shock. Fuck. It's 5:20? It's the same time as when I left that dream. But how? Then he notices his friends groaning out loud, Scruff Head holding his head and says, "Fuck. My head," while Buzzcut says, "Ugh. My limbs, no scratch that, my entire body feels like it got hit by a truck." Looking at his friends and feeling a little concerned and says, "You guys alright?" Scruff Head looks over and says, "Ryu Min? What the fuck happened? Did I pass out or possibly get drugged or something?" "Yeah, about that. Look around. It wasn't only us. But everyone woke up at the same time and the exact same way just now." Scruff Head blurts out in shock, "What? Everyone passed out? All at once?" Buzzcut also butts in and says, "Yeah man, what the fuck is going on? I even had a weird-ass dream." "Yeah man, me too." "Ryu Min, did you also have that fucked up dream as well?" Ryu Min looks over his and says, "Yeah, but..." As he looks around at everyone else, and seeing them struggling with reality, and he listening in to what everyone is saying, it was a dream. But was it really a dream? Or did everything actually happen? Round 1, and goblins? Then, will we all be sent back next month? Just then Ryu Min notices that Fatty still isn't getting up yet. And says, "Hey guys? Why isn't Fatty getting up?" As he tries shaking him with his foot to wake him up, getting curious, Scruff Head calls out, "Hey man, get up. Hey Kim Taeshik," as he reaches out his hand and starts shaking him. He then starts to freaking out and says, "Hey man, get the fuck up." And he rolls HM over onto his back, only to notice his pale-looking complexion. He slowly puts his wrist over his mouth and nose and says, "No way," with a trembling hand. He flops back onto his ass and says, "Fuck. Guys? He's not breathing. I can't feel a pulse either." Shocked and in disbelief, Ryu Min mumbles, "Taeshik died." Just then Scruff Head went completely pale from his thought, thinking he blurts out, "No way. Did he? Did I? Because he didn't survive inside the game?" Then Buzzcut looks around at everyone that is still lying down on the ground not moving and panics and says, "No way. Then everyone that hasn't woken up yet is dead? No way. They are all dead? Just a bunch of corpses laying around everywhere. Impossible. That is literally half of us. That has either survived or died." Ryu Min, looking around with a trembling body, also just came to the same realization and starts shaking even more. And starts to go into a cold sweat and starts thinking, "This is insane." And as if something snapped inside of him, he loses his shit.